that just have my eyebrows living in my hairline. You can't pant the whole time. I need you to get that under control. Have you had a good time playing with your brother? You're extremely hot. Okay. Is everyone settled down now? We got it all out of our system. We're ready? We're ready to continue? Okay. Here we go. What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative, a little channel I created in order to share with all of you about all of the things that I read and all of the different genres that I read in hopes of helping you find your next book. Today is Friday. Fridays, I always love to check in on what all I read, what I'm still reading, and what I plan to read next. Before we get into the books, I have two things I want to mention. If you missed it last night over on Christy Lewis's channel, we kicked off our Anna Karenina Readalong. Anna Karenina is a classic novel written by Leo Tolstoy. It's my first novel by Tolstoy. I've read several of his short stories, really loved them, but we kicked that off last night. I will have that linked down in the description box below. And then the second announcement is Tuesday, October 12th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be joining Andrew's Wizardly Reads and Daniel Barnett for an author interview, and that will take place over on Andrew's channel. Again, I will have Andrew linked in the description box down below. We'd love to have you join us. Daniel Barnett is the author of the famous Nightmareland Chronicles that I have been talking about on this channel since he started publishing them. Absolutely love them. Would love to have you guys come and join and meet Daniel and hopefully tickle your interest into trying that series. Okay, now, this is funny. In fact, in the history of the channel, I don't know that this has ever happened. I did not finish a single... Wait, I lie. I did finish one single book. I finished the collection of short stories by Mike Thorne, Peel Back and See. That's right. I think I had 2 stories left in that collection when I checked in with you guys last week. And then as soon as I finished filming, I went and finished that collection. And then as soon as I finished filming, I went and finished that collection. So I did finish one book. That was a great, great collection. And one thing I really love about Mike Thorne as an author, he writes so intelligently. The majority of what I read by him stayed with me after. It was very thought-provoking and intellectually stimulating, but it is written accessibly. It's easy to understand. This was just a really great collection of horror short stories. So if you're looking for something that is maybe the next level up on the rung of horror with a story or two that may interfere with your sleeping, this is the collection for you, and it will be available for purchase on October 29th. Okay. So that is the only book that I finished. The rest are still ongoing. So hopefully this is the next to last time you hear me talk about The Count of Monte Cristo. I am so close. I believe there's 117 chapters in this bad boy. I stopped on chapter 107 this morning. I will have this finished by the time I check in with you guys next week. So many things are happening. This is a revenge tale. It's probably the greatest revenge tale ever told. The character seeking revenge literally takes this book, plotting his revenge. He is a spider who builds the most intricate and complex web. Some of the things you see that he's doing is very in the open, like you understand what he's doing. Some of the things that he does along the way, you wait years for the payoff. I am very glad to have read this story in its entirety. I am reading the unabridged version. I am almost done. I cannot wait to see how this is going to end. I will finish it this week. Finally. Like, I've been getting teased on my Goodreads, and this is the first time I've ever taken 3 months to read a book besides Elantris. And they're all like making jokes like, oh my gosh, Sansa's gonna come before Leslie finishes this book. Leslie, what's taking you so long to read this book? And I'm like, guys, I'm doing a 3-month-long read along. It's fine, really. I also started my reread of their Eyes Were Watching guide by Zora Neale Hurston, and I am in love. I love this story even more the second time around than I did the first time. It just hits me deeper. I feel that now that I've read it once and I know how it ends, I am more focused of the beauty of the situation, the thought process of Janie, the things that she experiences and what she does in response to the things that are happening to her. I have a channel on my Discord set up for the reread for people that maybe want to read it for the first time. And literally all I've been doing is just putting in quotes because there is so much beauty in how Zora Neale Hurston writes the things that are happening to her characters and their thoughts. But it is one of the most beautiful love stories I have ever read, and I just feel this is such an important story. I just love this book. It's going to be an annual reread for me. I also started Anna Karenina, which I mentioned at the front of the video. We did a kickoff. This is a buddy read with the Literary Discourse Discord. The read along started October 1st. It is not too late to grab your copy of Anna Karenina and join us. This is a Russian classic by Leo Tolstoy, which I just realized I am reading 3 classics right now. I've got an American classic, I've got a French classic, and a Russian classic. I guess I'm just in a classy mood this month. I knew by Leo Tolstoy's short stories that I read that I really liked his writing style. So I decided I wanted to read one of his novels, and this seems to be his most popular one besides War and Peace. And I am really enjoying it. I am going to predict that Leo Tolstoy is going to be my favorite Russian author. I am very curious about what is going on so far. I'm only 88 pages in, but I think I see where this story might be going, and I'm here for it. But from what I understand, Anna Karenina is a lady of society. She has everything. Beauty, money, she's married, she's got a son, but she just does not take joy in her life. And then she goes to visit her brother and she meets this other young man. And from what I understand, she is going to abandon the life she currently has for this other guy, and calamity ensues. Now, the Russian authors I've read in the past can really take this type of story in 2 different directions. One of great hilarity or one of very dark tragedy. I don't know yet which way Leo Tolstoy is going to take it, but I am here for it. I also started Sharp Ends by Joe Abercrombie, which is a collection of short stories about different characters in the first law world. I have just really been on this short story kick lately. I've been reading 1 a day. This collection started off a little weak for me. I was reading the stories going, this adds nothing to my first law world experience. Nothing. I just was like, it didn't tell me anything I didn't already know, or the author wrote it so well in the story I was able to imagine this type of thing occurring for this character. Once I got about 4 or 5 stories in, that definitely changed. Now I am very interested. And then a couple of the stories really featured characters I hadn't met before. It did have one character that I had met, but the main characters of the story were other new characters. And I wasn't getting an ending. I was getting like the first half of a story, and I was thinking, I am going to not get fulfillment from these stories. Luckily, I did get a follow-up story from one of those. So I'm wondering if Abercrombie is going to tell a full tale with different short stories throughout this collection. I'm not sure, but 4 or 5 stories in, I was sold. I am enjoying it. So we'll see how the rest of these stories pan out. And then my main read has been The Hod King by Josiah Bancroft, book 3 in the Books of Babel series. And I thought that Arm of the Sphinx was my favorite book of the series. And then this one happened. And it's so many things. I have laughed so much. I have fallen more in love with some of these characters. There have been so many things to happen that just have my eyebrows living in my hairline. Like, I will read something and I want to keep reading because it is so good, but I just can't mentally handle it. I have to put the book down, let my heart rate recover, and just absorb what I read, and then try to predict what this particular character is going to do in this situation. This series has just been an absolute joy to read. This is the kind of series that when people do tag videos and they're asked the question, what's a series you wish you could read again for the first time? The Books of Babel is going to be one of those series for me. I am almost done. I have less than 200 pages. I hope to have this one taken care of in the next couple of days, because when I finish that one, the first book that's going to be next up on my list of books to read is going to be The Unwelcome by Jacob Stephen Moore. This is actually going to be an immersion read. This book was actually published earlier this year, I want to say February, but the audiobook just became available on Audible, and the author sent me the book and the audiobook to read and review. So this is going to be my immersion read. I am very, very excited. The trailer for this one looked really, really good. It's about a girl who has a really bad temper. She has just run everybody off from her, friends, family, and then she suffered a terrible breakup with her boyfriend. Her name is Kate, and Kate discovers one of her childhood best friends is planning this getaway trip to a cabin out in the woods. Kate takes the opportunity to tag along in hopes of rekindling that childhood friendship and hopefully find some refuge from this breakup that she had. That's where things go sideways. I mean, you knew it, right? A secluded cabin in the woods. Turns out Kate's boyfriend is not what he seems. I have 2 words for you. Body snatcher. I cannot wait to read this book. I'm also looking to start Aching God by Mike Shell. This is the first book in the Iconoclast series, and this is actually part of a read-along started by Andrew's Wizardly Reads that I'm co-hosting. The Discord discussion channels are located on the Wizardly Duo Discord. That's Andrew's server. The link to that Discord will be in the description box down below. So I am looking forward to getting started on this series. I've heard so many great things about it. I cannot wait to see what I'm going to think about it as well. And that's going to take care of everything. That is the one thing that I finished, the many things that I have started, and then the books that I plan to read next. How about all of you? Did you start off strong? Have you already finished a book or 2 this month? I may have started too many books at once. I couldn't help it. I just had this crazy week last week. I couldn't make up my mind about anything. I couldn't really even sit still more than a few minutes at a time. I kept jumping from thing to thing. I would watch a TV show for 10 minutes and decide I wanted to watch something else. And then I would pick up something to read and decide that wasn't doing it, so I'd pick up a different book. I would go edit a video for a little bit and then decide I didn't want to do that. I couldn't decide what I wanted to eat. It was just a crazy week. Couldn't make up my mind about anything. Do you guys ever have that happen to you? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't leave me out here hanging thinking something's wrong with me. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. I hope the rest of your Friday goes really well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in the next one.